Okay, this next warm-up is called alternating permutations. It is similar to single independent stroke and its concept of hitting one mallet at a time. So this warm-up has 4 measures. Each measure has a different pattern that you play. So what you can do when you're learning this exercise is, first of all, start out very slow. My recommended starting tempo is 30 beats a minute, or maybe like 45 if you're feeling comfortable. If you go with 30 beats a minute, what I recommend is playing it at 60 beats a minute, but treating that as an 8th note. That way you can count it easier. So with alternating permutations, what you can do when you're first learning it is you can take it measure by measure, because the transitions between measures are difficult, so just play one measure at a time. So you can go, the first measure, the pattern is 1, 3, 2, 4. So you can just go 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. And that's one measure, and you can just loop that and just keep going as long as you want to start out. And then you can do that with the remaining measures. The next measure is 1, 4, 2, 3. So that's, keep in mind, 1 is your outer left and 4 is your outer right. 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3. And just keep going. The next pattern is 4, 2, 3, 1. So 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1. And again, you can just keep going. And the last pattern of this exercise is 4, 1, 3, 2. So 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1. And when you're first learning this exercise, seriously, start out slow. It will be much easier to start out slow and build fast. And this exercise will be one of the hardest ones you learn because of the transitioning between measures. So once you end up comfortable with every measure, start working on trying to transition between these patterns, because it will take a lot of brain concentration until you become familiar with it. So I will show you real quick what it looks like when you put it all together as one warm-up, and then I'm going to show you it at 30 beats a minute, and for that one I will have my met at 60 beats a minute, meaning that the metronome will be 8th notes instead of just quarter notes. And then I will play it at 90 beats a minute, which it will take you a while to get to 90 beats. So here's what the exercise looks like when you put it all together. 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2. Okay, so now I will show you using those metronome settings I talked about. Okay, so this is the tempo I recommend starting out on. This is 8th notes this is 60 beats a minute, which is the 8th notes of 30 beats a minute. So I'm going to count real quick just so that's clear. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 16th notes would be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay, so this is the exercise. This is 90 beats a minute, 90 beats being the quarter note. So it will take you a lot of time to get to this point, and don't worry about it. If you can't get here yet, that's perfectly fine. I don't think anything in the show will actually be for Mallet faster than this for most of you. Some things in my part are a little bit harder, but anyway, let's do it. One, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. And with this exercise, at whatever tempo you do it at, like I mentioned, you can break it down measure by measure and work on the transitions later, or you can play all 4 measures and then just loop it back to the beginning. So I'll show you that real quick. One last thing about alternating permutations: make sure you keep every mallet at the same dynamic. A lot of people, most people in the world are right-handed, so most people will tend to accent some of their right hands, and they'll struggle with their left hand on 4 mallet. I'm ambidextrous, so my left hand is stronger than my right hand in 4 mallet. But most of you will struggle with your left hand. So just make sure you fight to keep your left hand at the same dynamic level as your right hand.